Let's talk about fiber today. Do you know how much you need? 24 to 30 grams, and that is a lot if you're not eating the appropriate diet. So, fiber is necessary to keep a good balance of bacteria in our gut, good and bad. So, where do we get it? Well, mostly whole foods. Besides keeping your gut balanced, fiber also helps against inflammation and helps us digest sugars. Makes you feel better, and so you eat less, and protects the lining of your digestive tract. So, beans and peas, whole grains and bran, all fruits, but especially grapefruit, apricots, mangoes, and oranges. All the vegetables, especially cruciferous like cauliflower and broccoli. Flaxseed, seeds, and nuts, psyllium. Foods that contains probiotics and living bacteria we need in the gut to include things like yogurt, pickles, and sauerkraut. Do you see a similarity between this Monday and last Monday's food list? Let's eat some fiber, folks. Have a good gut. Yesterday we talked about foods that we should eat, and today I want to just touch a little bit on foods that maybe we shouldn't eat. The first one I'm going to start with is alcohol. And while alcohol consumption in moderation can be linked to improved heart health and have anti-inflammatory properties, if you overdrink, it is recommended not to drink at all because it is counterintuitive. So let's talk about fresh fruit. Now we've already talked about keeping it fresh, eating whole foods, but don't eat stale food. So if you have leftovers, it's recommended that you have them for one day and then that's it. Don't eat freezer burnt food and throw out stale cooking oils. So, foods that cause inflammation: red meat, saturated and trans fats, white bread and rice, French fries, and sugary sodas. So, the link between inflammation and chronic disease is too strong to ignore. Throw out those foods, eat whole foods. We're going to talk about omega-3s and omega-6s today. We need both of them, but omega-6 is linked to inflammation. So what we've learned is that the study of indigenous people shows that their ratio of 6s to 3s is about 4 to 1, where on the contrary in Western diets, ours is 16 to 1. Holy cow. So what should we avoid with omega-6s? Sunflower, corn, soy, and cottonseed oils. Grain-fed beef, factory-raised chicken and pork, and non-free-range eggs. So what kind of oil is low in omega-6s and high in omega-3s? Flaxseed. Now, safflower, canola, and olive oil aren't particularly high in omega-3s, but they are low in omega-6s. So, ironically, lard, butter, palm, and coconut oil are low in omega-6s as well. So the real culprit isn't necessarily those bad fats, but the culprit, processed foods. What are you eating today? So, I'm going to keep talking about fatty acids for one more day. How do we balance those? How do we balance them out in our diet? Cook with safflower and olive oil first. How about try eating some low salted or unsalted nuts? Eat seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, hemp, and flax seeds. Fatty cold water fish, salmon, and tuna. That happens to be a trout in Colorado right there. Don't use soy oil. How many of you remember your mother or grandmother harvesting a fresh chicken for dinner? They were so good. Eat as lean of cuts of meats as you possibly can, and remember, changing your diet is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm still working on it even after a year, and though I don't eat perfectly, I certainly eat better than I did, and every little step counts. It's imperative to think of your mind and body as one. It all works together for the body-mind. So what's the best lifestyle for a healthy gut? For anti-inflammation, for healthy living. Man, you guys are going to think I sound like a broken record because it's the same thing for everything. Whole foods. Eat less fat, less sugar. No refined processed foods. Take your pre and probiotics, supplements, or yogurt, pickles, and sauerkraut. Fiber. Manage your stress diligently. Reduce the inflamed emotions like anger and hostility. Control weight gain and move and rest equally. Man, have you heard this before? I cannot emphasize those things enough. I know you've heard me talk about these things over and over. We are what we eat. Think and feel. Please think about what you're doing to your body. I just can't say it enough.